Here we go, rolling along here at Indianapolis Scouting Combine. Joining us now, man, entering his fourth season as head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Matey.
And they are the four-time defending NFC South champions. They won the Super Bowl back in 2020. Todd Bowles, the head coach now. One of the things that we were talking to Jason Light about earlier, like, nobody ever gives the Bucs any respect. You guys just keep coming back every year and punching your ticket. And the next year, everybody assumes the bottom's going to fall out, and it never does. So kudos to you for keeping it going.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We don't need the credit right now. The less people talk about us, the better. It's better to speak softly and carry a big stick than it is just to speak loudly and not carry a stick at all. So we try to do things the right way. We try to do things our way, and, we end up coming out of it.
Your way's been successful to the point where you keep losing offensive coordinators here, right? How much usually I feel like defensive coaches don't always have a great eye for a good offensive coordinator. You're damn 2 for 2 here. Like, how involved are you in this conversation, and kind of what jumps out to you when you kind of evaluate these OCs?
Well, it's all me, and I pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I think Bruce Arians has done a great job of teaching me how to coach coaches and how to look for the right coaches. Sometimes if it's a new system and you got all new people, obviously you look for the best coordinator, but sometimes you have to look for the best fit for your quarterback and for your team.
Right.
And in this case, it wasn't in Canales' case, we were looking for the best coordinator. In Liam's case, we were looking for somebody that fit the scheme for Baker. So in this case, it's been similar because we kind of kept all the coaches intact as well as most of the players. So it was important for us to find somebody that could fit in that slot and still tweak some things, but not change things too dramatically. And Grizz was one of those guys that fit that.
Right. When you look back at how it ended with Liam going to Jacksonville to be the head coach, and it was kind of clunky and it was well documented, is there anything you look at and say, man, I wish this would have happened differently?
No, for me, it was the end result. I would have been looking for an offensive coordinator, whether it happened differently or whether it happened the same. I'm still looking for a coordinator, and that's what happens at the end of the day. And for those of us who want to say we did things right or the right way our whole lives, you can't throw stones at a glass house if everybody else lives in the glass house. So he did what was right for him at the time, and obviously a lot of people in Tampa don't agree, but it's not even the factor. The point is we had to find another offensive coordinator. So that was my thought as soon as it happened. Whether they say, well, we're going to take it slow and hire him in a week, I would have been doing the same thing. Jason would have been doing the same thing. So we got past that, and we wish him the best, but we're going to try to win ourselves and do our own thing.
I want to ask you this because you got great perspective on the history of football. I grew up watching you play against my dad when you were on Washington and all that. Yep, we're both that old. That's right. But what to you, what's like the big change for you in the league that you're just like, man, the league is so different now compared to the early 90s, late 80s, and I just can't even believe how different. Is there one or two things that just pop into your head right away when I say that? Is it right to the quarterback protection? All right, okay.
It's practice, and, you're only allowed to be in pads for 13 days during the season.
Crazy.
And you have a ramp-up period in training camp, and there's only 3 preseason games now, so it's hard for free agents to really try and make an impact. So, the quarterback stuff and the rules take care of themselves, but you couldn't get half of those guys in the Hall of Fame to play today, like the Dick Butkus and the Ronnie Lotts and the Mike Singletaries, because they take your head off. Now, if you take somebody's head off, you're out of the league. So that part of it has changed a great deal. So, you kind of change with the times, and you have to, because we love player safety, and we want it to be safe. And if you don't change with the times, you're probably going to be out of the league. And offensively, it's become more of a jet motion and get the ball out your hands type of game, because these guys are coming out of college. They come out of college without having a playbook to having a playbook.
Right.
So you can't treat them, if you treat them old school and give them the playbook, you're going to get fired because they're not going to learn it. So you have to do what they can do, and you get the ball out of their hands very quickly, and the game has changed a lot that way.
Yeah, it's a great answer, man.
Beyond the fact that you guys have won under your leadership 3 straight division championships, you've kind of had the Eagles' number. You beat them in the playoffs, 23. You put it to them right before their bye week earlier this year. Is there some secret sauce that the Bucs have figured out to how to deal with like the biggest, baddest team in the NFL right now?
No secret sauce. I mean, we played well at the time. I'll trade all those wins in for their Super Bowl ring. but you know, it happens sometimes, and we happen to win 2 in a row on them, or 3 in a row, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think it means anything in the grand scheme of things. I think every team changes throughout the year, and you can either catch them at a good time or a bad time, and that has a lot to do with it. You know, our guys play hard. I know they're very talented and play hard and well coached too, so it's just one of those things.
Why we're on the Eagles, because I used you as an example earlier today on our live show of going, you know, first off, I'm not in favor of banning the tush push just because one team got good at it. And I said, well, maybe they got to get defense has got to get some big dudes like Tampa did. Tampa stopped the tush push, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. Do you think it should go, the safety of it, and how you defend it a little bit?
The safety of it's always going to be a question because it's a rugby-style play, but I have nothing against it. You found guys that are being creative and found the niche and how to gain an edge in this league, and that's what we as coaches try to do on a daily basis.
Right.
So now it's up to defensive coaches to try to gain an edge to try and stop it and find ways to stop it. So that's the challenge of it every time somebody brings something new, whether it's offense or defense. So I'm all for it that way. Again, nobody's been seriously hurt at this time, but you got to learn how to stop it if you're going to try and stop it.
You guys did the shoot at the legs in the wild card game when you beat them down there in Tampa 2 years ago, right? That seemed to be successful. You seem to have the greatest success against it to this point, really.
And us having the greatest success is really not success. I mean, you're talking like 2 for 15 or something like that. It's not like you said we're 3 out of 4.
And most teams don't got 2.
We got 2, but they might have gotten 15 or 20. So that you take your wins that you can get them.
Coach.
You take your wins as you can get them, but it's not really a consistent rate. That's not going to stop them from doing it. And they've had plenty of success against us as well, but we have stopped it once or twice.
Do you think you'll be able to get a deal with Chris Godwin before he gets a chance to see what else is or isn't out there?
We hope so. We pushed the deadline back for him that way, and obviously he's still rehabbing and going through that from a doctor's standpoint. But we're talking, and he's one of my favorite players, and he's one of the favorites on our team as well. So hopefully that can get worked out.
All right. Well, congratulations on your success.
Thanks, guys.
Here's to another division title this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is Todd Bowles. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.